Ah,
Hello, and welcome to Torture is How You Make Friends number 11. All right, we get it. Uh, with us today is Hey Camel,
Good evening.
Terry Diamantis,
Hey everyone.
and special guests Doc Griffin
hello.
and Cadunt.
Fuck you, Johnny. And sup, bitches. But fuck you, Johnny.
The hate is strong with this one.
I'm guessing that that did the thing again.
You're guessing what?
It's because
1,000.
you didn't like this one as much as the Taylor Tomlinson one.
Taylor Tomlinson was actually funny. Like, this one made me go, oh, right, Black lives do matter. A lot more than Mexican lives.
I got a feeling the place she grew up, because like she was saying that she grew up in Chicago and lived around Chicago. I got a feeling the phrase gated community was something used to describe where she lived, because she does not have a Chicago sense of humor at all.
She went to a fucking like religious school. That was her schooling, and her lack of education showed. Also,
Well,
her lack of a sense of humor.
If I'm not mistaken, she said she grew up in a Chicago suburb, so definitely not Chicago proper.
Yeah,
But
I'm smelling gated community.
yeah. Well, I mean, I said at the very start of the show in the chat, as soon as she walked out in that suit with the haircut, I was like, yeah, she's throwing up more red flags than a Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah.
And I was right.
Oh yeah, she had some messages.
None of which I think were actually thought through.
Yeah.
It was interesting for me watching it because none of it was funny. I started paying more attention to her movement on stage and stuff, and none of it seemed like she had any purpose at all. Not the bit she was doing, not the way she presented herself on stage. It all just seemed like it was just thrown together at the last second.
She just babbled and long paused to drag it out with no line.
My God.
Like I was waiting. I would wait and I'd be like, okay, there's a pause. She's gonna get to some sort of punchline, right? Like there's gonna be something funny that's gonna come from this, right? No. She said like one thing that I could actually like get on board with, which because she's a woman, so she was speaking from the female perspective, I suppose. Apparently the creepy in high school lesbian female perspective. But she said one thing which I was just like, no, yeah, that's true. Which is women have this ability to change without actually getting themselves naked. And especially when you're in high school.
Well,
Like
bra
you're in
change.
high school gym, like that's just a thing. Like I never, like it was never a thing where any of us would ever see the others unclothed. And she went on way too much about that. She went on way too much about everything. God, my brain hurts.
She definitely did have a lot of those Obama pauses in there. That's for sure. That
Well-
must be a Chicago thing.
Well,
Fucking
I keep thinking back to when Jeb Bush was running for president, and he was like at that old folks home, and he finished his speech, and it was dead silent, and he went, "Applaud, please."
Oh, please clap. Yeah.
Yeah, please clap. Yeah, that's what kept running through my head, because she'd stop and stare at the audience, and then they'd catch on.
That's also like taking a bit of Henry Rollins' bit when he was talking about watching George W. Bush speak. How he just sort of look at the crowd, and you can tell he thought people were talking, like he knew people People knew what he was talking about because he'd get that smirk on his face, like, oh, they got it.
Well, and also here's the thing: Henry Rollins has lived a life, so he's got some damn good stories to share.
Yeah.
She doesn't, and she's what, like, not even 40, and she ain't got shit to talk about besides the fact that she's gay.
Yo,
And creepy gay.
Henry Rollins had this one bit that he did before where he's describing that droplet of sweat, like, you know, where he's so hot and sweaty, and he's describing the droplet of sweat that's like about to go down his ass crack and shit like that. And the way he did that was so fucking funny. And she's talking about how, you know, she's getting the hot sweats by being surrounded by a bunch of, like, her fucking high school naked swim team. And it was just uncomfortable.
She spent way too much time talking about how you put on a swimsuit. Honestly, I think she was probably wet by the end of it because she was the only one who probably got satisfaction from that story. I am not happy with her. I am disappointed because of the fact that if you're a comedian, how the fuck did you get this far? I'm almost positive she probably paid her own money to have this shot, you know, in hopes of getting a pickup from, like, Netflix. Because Netflix will play trash.
This was Amazon.
But it wasn't an Amazon original. It was just found on Amazon.
Ah.
No, I would not. I would even. I couldn't. I would give it a 1. The IMDb users, she must have her friends going on there, but I would be in the category of the 11.9% because of the fact that it actually ended.
Do you want to hear something that's going to blow your mind, Doc?
Okay.
Supposedly, this was directed by Bobcat Goldthwait. That's what IMDb's saying.
Well, it's not like it was shot bad. It's just it was bad source material. That's like if Bobcat would have filmed the comedy stand-up special of Benito Mussolini. It would have been a bad special regardless, but it probably would have been shot well.
That's just not. I mean, because obviously she's, you know, the star of this. She's the writer. I did not expect to see that name attached as the director.
Well, by the way, Bobcat's last one that he did about 4 or 5 years ago, fucking hilarious. And he was telling people stories. He wasn't trying to do joke setups. And I forget the movie that he just recently did. It started like
I know whenever.
I
I don't know about that, but I know whenever I go to recommend Bobcat movies off the top of my head, the ones I go to are God Bless America and World's Greatest Dad.
Yeah, that is that's the one. God Bless America. I've watched that thing, and even though he's politically opposite to me, all the politically opposite jokes that he does, I still find them funny.
Yeah, comedy done well is gonna, you know, make you laugh regardless of, you know, left, right, or center.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna tell a Trump joke, tell a good one.
I think that movie was really good because he went, like, after both sides of, like, the annoying spectrum of just, like, shitty people. There wasn't, like, you know, an obvious agenda behind it. It's like, yeah, you all suck.
Yeah, you are all shitheads. All of you deserve to die. And it's like, yes, you are right. Thank you, Bobcat. I was trying to think of that. I won't be able to think of it. It was one joke that he pulled off that should have been like, to everybody. But then he just railed right back at him and said, no, this is one of the jokes you laugh at. And everybody just broke up. I suspected that she wanted to do that at least once or twice during this special.
I remember he had one where he was talking about being on a plane with, like, a Special Olympic team or something, and he was just kind of wondering, like, if this plane goes down, who gets top billing?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, see, you have to take everyday incidents and find the funny part to it. At no time during this stand-up act did I find anything. I mean, she had a long setup for every joke, and none of them paid off.
Like this whole special reminded me of a line from the movie Euro Trip. I don't know if you guys ever watched that one.
A long
But,
time ago.
And just to like modify it, so paraphrase that line. It's like I watched a lesbian stand-up special once. Got halfway through, the jokes never came. The jokes never came.
Well, that's probably why her ex-wife divorced her, because she never came.
You know what? All I'm gonna say.
That's the funniest part of the special is like knowing in hindsight that they ended up getting divorced, because the special was shot 2 days before her marriage. Chat, just so you know.
And they divorced.
She told the
2 years
audience that they were in effect her bachelor party.
Yeah, well, and all the pictures that I looked at looked more like a photo op than an actual, hey, we're in love and we're getting married. Hey, Kadunti, you were saying something?
Oh, when it comes to the way that she did her stand-up, I think I finally understand it.
Okay.
You know how when someone departs and everyone's like, all right, I'd like to take a moment of silence. Like, can we all just take a moment of silence to remember the departed?
Wasn't that good of a movie? You don't
No,
even remember that.
That's what she was doing for every single one of her jokes. Was she was taking that moment of silence for the joke she just fucking murdered.
Yeah, I guess if they would have... okay, here's one of the most curious things. And you guys tell me if you spotted this. During this whole show, I didn't see it, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. During this whole show, there was never a shot into the audience where it showed somebody just laughing their ass off.
That's true.
Wait. Are you saying that all of those woos and claps at dumb moments for stupid things that garnered no reaction in any way, shape, or form equivalent to that, are you saying that those were just laugh tracks?
No, I'm just saying that the perceived laughs from the audience were so few and far between, they could never whip the camera around and catch somebody actually laughing.
Oh, you know what it was? They didn't want to risk you seeing that above the stage, the little applause sign or the little laugh sign that they would light up whenever it's just like, no, this is a joke, we swear.
or to call back, it's just a sad picture of God, what's his name? Jeb Bush with his pouty face. Just please clap.
Well, what I've noticed digging around since we started this is I'm not finding ratings anywhere except for Amazon, like reviews.
Yeah,
from actual people.
Well, it's on Amazon Prime. If you can queue it in Amazon Prime, then Amazon Prime is actually carrying it.
Well, no. What I think is interesting is because a lot of these will have like a Rotten Tomatoes review, even like a critics one. This doesn't have it. Her one for her 2018 special does. And that's just a critic's review. There's no audience rating for it.
Probably because they couldn't stop vomiting.
But this one has like a sad amount of 5-star ratings.
Yeah, well, like I said, have your friends go on and beef it up. Like the books that I have online, I didn't tell any of my friends about it. So everybody that left a review on my books is somebody I don't know. And I feel really good about that.
Okay, so I'm curious how you would agree or disagree with this review. Absolutely brilliant. I laughed the whole way through. I had to pause it several times so I could finish laughing, lest I missed the next joke. She's just so funny, and her delivery is spot on. I will say it's sad to see these kinds of negative reviews here. There's so much bias towards her work on gender, sexuality, etc. Sad that the most common, heavily biased critique is that she jokes about being gay. If that were true, then every single straight comic would have to throw out every line of their material. but nobody's leaving that on their review, now are they?
You know what? Only Andrew Dice Clay is the only person who you could say, yeah, as a straight white male, that's all he talks about is heterosexuality.
Oh, I'm sorry. There was one more line to that. Well, guess what? Straight people think it's funny, too. This is one of my all-time favorites.
You're not a straight people.
Stars.
I'm almost positive, dude. Oh, almost positive. No, read some of the 1 stars, because there's a lot of them.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm saying, like, I'm getting, like, that's the top one that came up when I looked at it. Then the next one's a 1 star, says lame. Not family-friendly due to language. I couldn't endure the entire program because of her voice, which I found really irritating. And when she got loud, she shrieked. That wasn't funny. It was almost painful. In addition, her timing was surprisingly bad for a professional comedian. The pregnant pause is a wonderful tool for speakers of all types, but when it lasts too long, you just annoy your listeners and make them wonder if you've forgotten the punchline. I put up with those things waiting for something funny. I was disappointed. Nothing funny or enlightening, just narcissistic poff and lecturing about lesbianism. If I wanted a lecture, I'd go to other venues. I wanted comedy, and there was none.
I mean, her whole premise of setting up how heterosexual parents raise gay kids, and then gay parents raise straight kids. Nope. You could do a little bit of research on that, Cameron, and figure it out, because when you have a male and a female and they procreate, it's a toss-up in the air, but what is it, like maybe 0.3% of them actually end up gay? The rest, the regular heterosexual lifestyle, or, you know, maybe throw a 1% in there for the bisexuals. But
it's not the whole thing is that has nothing to do with somebody being gay is who they're raised by.
Correct.
And why she's going to drag that out. Like, oh, look, see, heterosexuals are making gay. Well, yes, of course, heterosexual couples will create children that, guess what? If the kid winds up being gay, they wind up being gay. It's not because they were with a heterosexual couple. Like,
and
that's a non-issue, and she can shut her fucking mouth about it.
Well, it's the same thing about the sperm donor joke. That could have been a funny joke.
I just kind of tuned her out after a bit. Because I got so fucking bored. She was so fucking boring.
Yeah. You know, I was looking at it in a different way, because in my other lifetimes, I did stand up, and so every time she would start something, I would basically be in the analytical phase. Okay, she's setting up this joke. Let's see what the payoff is. And there really was never a decent payoff for the amount of time she spent on setting up the joke. That's like, pulling out your gun and clicking it, and then all you have are duds. She's not good at what she does.
Here's somebody else. This is a 2-star review. I've seen her live before, so I had high hopes for the special, but this was not her best work. I went long stretches without laughing. At first, I thought I must be in a bad mood, but immediately after watching this, I watched another comedy special and laughed 5 times as much in 30 minutes as I did at Esposito's hour-long performance. She had much more of an edge when we saw her live 4 years ago, but I felt more like a lecture than a comedy show. So maybe she was funny at some point. I mean, or maybe this person just, has a nostalgic memory.
And I've seen her on Conan and like Leno and stuff like the late night circuit, and she was pretty funny then.
Well, then again, you're definitely talking about a different realm, because it has to be family friendly. So I guess the gay jokes that she focused on, because make no mistake, everything was a gay joke. Yeah. I didn't hear one joke from her that wasn't steeped in some type of homosexuality. And that you can't go to that well for an hour.
Well, about the only thing that wasn't like gay related was her closing bit about pot.
Well, yeah, okay, I'll take that back. I was kind of zoned out by that point, but yeah.
And as somebody who enjoys smoking the devil's lettuce, I was about ready to say make it a death penalty offense by the time she was done.
Well, that goes back to the Todd Glass joke about making pot legal, but being a pothead make illegal.
I don't remember that one. Sorry.
It's a whole long Todd Glass thing. I would destroy it if I even tried to go on about it.
Oh, what have I done now? I've got Shio talking about Euro trip in chat. Yeah, now try saying that safe word, Shio. Give it a shot. Because you could have been could have used that for this special. I'm pretty sure Doc was ready to call it quits. Did we get to the stopwatch on this one, Johnny?
No, but it was pretty quick.
Now, will we count when he got up first to get the booze, or when he started the pizza?
Yeah, I expressed my hatred for both of you.
It was the booze. Booze came first.
Booze always comes first. Are you kidding me?
Speaking of which, Johnny.
Yes.
Fuck you. I need to make sure I reiterate that point. Like, fuck you.
No, I really want to cement this in. You're saying it was bad.
No, I'm saying fuck you.
And by the way, when she said that there's no way to stop somebody once they're really, really high, that is wrong. There are a couple of ways to actually break a high.
She definitely harshed my buzz, that's for sure.
Well, if you really need to break a high, which is dumb because you wouldn't be smoking if you didn't think you could get that high, but you can always chew on or sniff peppercorns. That has a reaction to help break your buzz.
The more you know, kids.
Yeah. Although somebody just dropped off, he's like, "You got to try this. It's called Dream Sherbet," and I'm like, "Stop naming the pot. Is it good? Okay, I will try it. Stop naming them these fucking stupid, ridiculous names."
At this point, I want something like like the CIA would name. I want like some X-43 7-2. Don't give me some unicorns and rainbows or any of that shit.
I want LSD 25. That's what they gave in the experiments back in the 60s that drove guys insane. But then again, they didn't tell them.
Oh, you want that Kaczynski shit? Okay. I was just talking about weed.
No, it's got to have a government tag on it. Yeah, it's got to be my favorite hallucinogen.
I was thinking more Pineapple Express than Unabomber, but okay,
I don't know. People stop by and they're like, "Hey, this is called the Aruba experience," and I'm like, "Fuck you! What kind is it? Is it indica? Is it sativa? When do I need to smoke this?" And I looked at because I became like a pot guru because I would never pick up anything that wouldn't get me stoned off one bowl.
Yeah,
is this some couch weed or is this some get shit done weed? What am I doing today?
Mr. Dax has a name for it in chat. Hyclon B.
I would use the sound pad, but it's not configured properly right now. I'd have to shut down the whole computer. But yes, that would be worthy of a rim shot, Mr. Dax. Good on you.
I just need to have like the little sticker labels on them, like they do for actual medication. Once I smoke this, do I not need to drive or operate heavy machinery? That's all I need to know. Or, hey, do you need your house cleaned? Please take this.
Well, I've got some more reviews in here. This is interesting to me. This is the first one I've seen on Amazon where they have the reviews where it's had like more 2 stars than like 1 star or 5 stars so far. I mean, I'm just on the first page, so Because I've seen like 3 or 4 different 2-star ones, a couple of 1 stars, a couple of 5 stars.
See, 2-star reviews are usually what parents leave. Because they don't want to
get one just for showing up and one for trying.
Yeah, you don't completely suck, but you're part of my genetic makeup, so I have to give you 2.
This one says, maybe funny if you're gay. Why is it that gay stand-up comics only ever talk about their sexual preferences? What a narrow, tiny world they must live in when there's so much other humorous topics out there. Boring, not funny, didn't even crack a smile.
Yeah, there has to be real life experiences, because here's the deal. Unless you're filling your entire audience with LGBT friendly, then whatever special that you do is not going to reach the majority of your audience. They want to have something that is a possible shared experience.
Oh, Amazon reviews are turning into the old school YouTube comments. This one says, one review said, maybe funny if you're gay. Well, I'm straight and I found it hilarious. 5 stars.
No, Jesus.
How long before you think Amazon adopts the thumbs up, thumbs down to get rid of the stars like YouTube did?
Schumer was more polarizing. Amy Schumer was more polarizing, and you couldn't go to Netflix in the time when her special came out that it wasn't on your front page. And you used to have the click on it to make it go the fuck away that you didn't want to see it anymore. They took that away first.
I never watched the Amy Schumer special. Now I want to, because I feel like that would at least elicit some form of reaction from me in some way, shape, or form. And besides, I'm gonna admit it, there were a couple of things that I'd seen Amy Schumer do that I found entertaining.
You will walk away from this one probably saying, "You a dirty hoe."
Well, I've always kind of assumed she was a dirty hoe, because like one of my favorite things that I'd seen her do was when she was part of the roast. Mm-hmm. I forget whose roast it was.
She did a couple.
But I used to watch the roast, and I'm just like, all right, she's got jokes. She's funny. Because she had a couple of pretty good hits that would make me do the groan laugh. You know, like the, oh my fucking God, but that was funny. So I don't hate Amy Schumer as much as I hate this fucking Mexican.
I tell you, there are funny women in comedy. The first one that comes to mind is Lisa Lampanelli.
I love Lisa Lampanelli.
She is fucking bawdy, hilarious, and no prisoners. She literally takes no prisoners, and that's what makes me love her. Although she talks about fucking black guys a lot.
Well, because she fucks black guys a lot.
That changed since she lost the weight, or no?
Oh no, she's still. If she got rid of all of her black guy fucking jokes, she might be in trouble.
Well, I last I heard, she had like dyed her hair and she was bitching about Trump at a show. Like she was like a blue hair.
Oh, I don't want to see her bitching about. But she's not good at politics. I would just assume that she not do that.
But let's see. Another one, 1 star, not funny at all. 99% about being gay, but no jokes. Sounded more like a motivational speaker for gays. No issue with gays, but was looking to laugh. Never happened. I've laughed more at the reviews of this so far than I did the actual special, guys. I mean, it's par for the course, but
I don't think gay people would find it motivational. I'm almost positive. Oh. Damn! You guys should have made Addie watch this. He never would have. But...
Oh no, he would have checked out like 10 minutes in, if that.
I wouldn't even give him that much. He probably would have looked at her walk on stage and go, no.
Like I said, when she walked on stage, I was like already throwing out more red flags than a Chinese communist parade. For those of you just listening that aren't at any way inclined to look this person up or watch this special, it's she's got a haircut where she like shaved like one side of her head and like the rest of it's growing out. So, she looks like she likes like a mid 2000s emo. to me, to a certain extent.
Wow.
And she's how old, Johnny?
39.
And this was only how many years ago?
2.
No, this one was 4.
Oh yeah,
this is
2016. That's right.
Yeah, there you go. Take a look, chat.
You know, it's sad to say, but there are better looking women on Plex Storm.
Well, I mean, it's a 40-year-old. It's a nearly 40-year-old woman that looks like a 15-year-old boy.
Oh, she's a bitter bitch too. And her stuff about high school, creepy. I mean, I was offended just by the fact of how she was talking about it, and it sounded incredibly pedophilic.
It just proves you don't need a penis to be a predator.
Yeah, I mean, talking about staring at the other girls and their nubileness and all this shit. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This is not funny, man. This is borderline bad touch.
She tried to make a joke about one of her a sleepover one time. Her friend's parent tried to suggest she sleep in a different room, and her response was to scream, "Shut the door! Shut the door!" So yeah,
Creepy.
Yuck, yuck. Har har, yuck yuck. Am I right?
Yes.
I mean, there are good creepy jokes out there, but when you spend so much time on it, and she did, she spent way too much time, and that's what made me as an audience member. That's what started making me cringe and started making my skin crawl.
Now,
I think the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Johnny.
Well, you go ahead because I was going to switch topics.
For me, overall, I was just interested. I mean, with this one, was that her economy of words and her economy of movement, neither of which she did very well. We've already talked about, with the pauses. She just kept using words to lengthen this stuff out, and you're thinking there's going to be a payoff, and there never was. And then she's off to the next thing, and it's just the same process over and over again for an hour. So
and, by
the fact that there was anybody that laughed at all, the fact that there was any clapture or any of that bullshit, I think that the people who attended that show where they actually shot that deserves to be slapped for lying to us as a society.
It was structured without any payoff.
They lied to us. They lied to us to give us the impression that they thought this was funny, and that is false advertising.
Yeah, she should not be called a comedian.
Also, I noticed that this is another one of those specials. I don't know if it's just modern specials or what, but they seem to be going away from showing any audience reactions at all, like in any meaningful sense. It's always very long shots, very wide shots of the audience.
Yeah, that's one of the first things that I picked up on. I'm like, why aren't? And it's Bobcat Goldthwait directing, so you're a comedian. Why aren't you pulling these shots to see that there are people having a good time? And like Cadet was saying, it felt more like it was a laugh track, a very poor laugh track. I mean, there was a lot of sympathy chuckling out there. Good God. I think that's the time where you give up on stand-up. When you have what? There's probably maybe 1,500 or 2,000 people there, and the best you were getting was laughter from about maybe 10% of the audience. I mean, actual laughter you could hear.
And then woos whenever some buzzword was mentioned.
Okay, yeah. I've got another review here. This is from a person that 5 stars. Funny. Hair was unique, but otherwise all great. I seriously want that blazer. Nice. Laughing my ass off at the slumber party bit, the asking directions, the knife protection. I'd watch it again. If you're laughing your ass off at the slumber party bit, I need you to take a seat. Yeah, we're about to have a full-on Chris Hansen discussion here.
Well, and the knifing bit, I think you really need to go see a professional because that was not funny. Talking about how she wants to murder stab people.
Well, here's the major themes that was touched upon, chat. Just since Johnny, unless you want to jump in with what you were changing subject on.
Go for it.
We had a whole great big helping of lesbianism at the beginning, off the top. Like we couldn't tell, you know. We had she talked about guns too.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember anything specific from her talking about guns that could even pass for trying to be a joke?
The one where she was talking about, and the joke has been done better by somebody else, where, you know, if you really consider yourself a hunter, you would run through the forest and take down deers with your teeth.
I don't hear that as a joke. I hear that as a trope by anti-gun nuts. I've never heard anybody actually try to make that into a joke, a comedian or otherwise. It's always some smarmy prick who thinks you shouldn't be able to have a rifle. And yeah, that didn't even factor into my head as being trying to be humorous, but okay. Yeah.
She was using it like a punchline. And it's just like, okay, set up. That's your punchline. Okay. Next joke.
Yeah, because as soon as I heard her say that, I just like, oh, so you want the animal to suffer more? Okay, cool. You know, I checked out on the guns bit after that.
And what was it? Cadet was like, oh God, she's a vegan too.
Oh yeah. She mentioned mental health, mental illness in regards to, you know, that not wanting that. You know, she was trying to backpedal a little bit on guns with a mental illness.
Yeah.
I was like, well, of course you support mental illness. Look at that haircut. I mean, come on. We already know.
Yeah, trying once again to paint with a broad brush that all people who own guns are insane. And then it's like, oh, but if you have a serious mental handicap, then, you know, that's completely different. Yeah, Can somebody in the cancel culture take care of this bitch, please? Figure out, from this stand-up, cancel her out because of it.
I mean, you gotta figure she's pushing 40. She's divorced. There's probably gonna be a Me Too allegation somewhere in the future. That's the only thing I can figure.
Not for her, from her failed J.J. Abrams clone of a wife.
So, Kadant, how often do you freely talk about your periods?
Oh yes, of course. Who could forget the that on the?
I love saying period because I'm so edgy. And I'm just like, bitch, get on my fucking level. Like, if I'm gonna talk about the fact that I bleed profusely from my vagina, I'm gonna talk about the fact that I bleed profusely from my vagina. And it's not gonna be my main point of talk. Like, it's not gonna be my main talking point.
I just love how female comics seem to think that, you know, if men bled from their dicks once a month, you wouldn't think it was gross as a woman.
I just fall back to the punchline of that actual joke was, I bet I just ruined strawberry-filled donuts for you.
I've never tried them in the first place. I prefer lemon jelly donuts. Thank you very much.
Okay. I'm a raspberry, so, you know. And actually, the joke would have been funnier if she would have said raspberry or cherry. But no, she had to go with strawberry for some reason.
First off, if your periods are like strawberry jam from inside of a strawberry jelly donut, you have a weak-ass period and you're a weak bitch. And that explains a lot, actually. Get on my fucking level, you pathetic cunt. Thank you.
Yeah, and raspberry jelly and cherry jelly are darker.
Yeah, they're darker and slightly thicker. Mm-hmm. She focused way too much on the chunkiness factor. She's like, it's pieces of my body. I'm like, if you hadn't had a religious education, then you would know that it's the uterine lining, you retarded fuck. Good job. You're showing exactly why Catholic high schools are obviously bad schools.
Yeah, and men don't bitch about scabs, and that's pretty much the same type of process.
I know that there's a lot of like young boys who get uncomfortable with the thoughts and ideas of it because, you know, they have a certain upbringing or thought process or whatever, but most men don't give two shits. Like, if you're going to joke about your period or bring up your period purely for the cringe factor, first off, that's stupid. And second, if you're gonna make it your main talking point, at least make it fucking funny and try once. Just try to be original. This was not original. I'd heard this same kind of bullshit before from people who did it better.
Oh yeah, that's definitely jokes that have been done.
Yeah, honestly, I can't think of one guy, especially growing up through my teens, it was just like, oh, you're going to get a chance to fuck Sally, right? Well, she's on her period. Does she want to fuck? Yeah. Going on in. I will put the messy towel down. So, yeah.
Time to get the good plastic sheet.
I had a girlfriend that would invite me over. She's like, I got to get the messy towel out. And I'm like, I'm okay with that. And you could probably tell that she's never had the bloody wings either. She does. She looks more like a doomy princess. Cameron, that is.
Okay, hold on. I'm reading this thing that who the fuck is going through this little list?
Oh, that's me. It's
She's very prepared to not be murdered. No, she is not. She is not prepared to not be murdered. She's not prepared at all. I remembered that whole bit. She's like, I'm so worried about being murdered. I sleep with the pillow on my chest and a knife in my nightstand. And I'm just like, oh, cool. So you're making it pretty easy to murder because the pillow would help to hinder your movement even further when attempting to reach for the knife inside of your nightstand.
Well, she probably has one of those memory foam pillows too, and a knife will go straight through that bad boy.
No, it's just as simple as, listen, if you're really going to claim you're prepared to not be murdered and you sleep with the pillow and you have a knife, keep the knife under your pillow, or as you're apparently holding the pillow on your chest to protect you from knife wounds, have a knife in that fucking hand. Like,
you're saying put it under a pillow?
Just why not? That's how I used to sleep, with a knife under my pillow, so that I had it in my hand as I was sleeping.
Now, the only thing I have loaded in the house, because I'm a responsible gun owner, is my shotty. And if anybody comes through that door, they're going to get some. Double-aught buckshot. And that, if it doesn't persuade them, then I have enough time to load my pistol, and that will persuade them even greater.
See, you have a gun in your house, and you have a shotgun specifically.
Well,
You're going to give them one warning click as you as you get it into the chamber.
Well, wait a minute. I don't have a soundboard. I have real life. So wait a minute. Let me just.
Yeah, it's a what I'm reading. What I was reading is it's a review. From autostraddle.com.
That's all you need to hear before you should be backing away from my front door or my back door.
From what straddle.com?
Autostraddle.com. Support queer media or lose it.
Why?
I'll support it if I find it entertaining in some way. She didn't entertain me. Simple. She just wasn't entertaining.
Is this supposed to be 8 reasons why it's good, or what, Johnny? What's going on here? I see the jacket gets listed.
8 reasons why Esposito is quote unquote marriage material in her new special.
I don't suppose cooking and cleaning makes this list, does it?
No.
Because if I remember, she didn't favor that either.
Let's see. She brings up the BFF thing.
Oh yeah, the value of a BFF. What was her big bit about that? Putting on her boyfriend's football jersey and her friend getting her boyfriend's football jersey and them tackling each other.
Trying to coerce her best friend in high school to do physical things with her. Yeah.
Creepy. Once again, creepy.
Playing a little 2-hand touch in the bedroom. Yeah, that was a great bit showing marriage material there. The jacket, not really my style, but okay.
Her pop culture references are on point and very gay.
Blair Witch was super on point and super gay. Oh my god!
When was that movie made again? Was that 99? Was it still in the 90s?
I think it was 99.
Yeah,
a lot of shit came out in 99.
It was either 98 or 99.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it came out 2000. That was gonna be a 98 or 99. But yeah, that makes a appearance in this special.
Yeah, it was 99.
2016, we're still referencing the fucking Blair Witch Project, y'all.
Well, they did the remake of Blair Witch, so I guess she was trying to be topical.
Sounds like trying to get paid for some old rope to me, but okay.
Well, and she was talking about how, this movie would have never gone off nowadays because, people would have just looked it up. Bitch, did you forget the fact that the reason why it was so ultra popular was because they had a blitz mass marketing campaign. Yeah, that campaign was just amazing. It was killer shit. And even Sci-Fi Channel jumped in on it to do like a little 30-minute special acting like it was real. So yeah, internet was there. So fuck you, you idiot, for not doing any type of research.
But yeah, we were talking about her never buying a gun. The very last one she talked about was she's proof that love is real. Proof that love is real for Cameron Esposito is not stabbing her sleepwalker wife.
Yes,
in the middle of the night.
Well, she couldn't anyway because again, the knife is in her nightstand. She doesn't have it in hand. Otherwise, and I'm starting to. I shouldn't say starting to. I doubt this woman's instincts for survival because of the fact that, like, she said she woke up one night, her wife was, like, zombie glazed staring over at her as she tucked her into bed, and she didn't stab her. I'm just like, first off, you would have had to have reached the drawer on the nightstand. Second off, the fact that you didn't hit her at all makes it very clear that you were paralyzed by your own fear. So what good is a knife going to do anyway?
Well,
she tried to say it was instinctual. It was my wife, and I knew. It was her, and I knew that I shouldn't. No, it wasn't. You just have shit instincts, and Darwinism will help kill you off. Thank you.
And honestly, to prove the shit instincts, the punchline of that joke was her soon-to-be wife in the corner like Blair Witch. That would have been a great punchline, but she just ran right over it.
Yeah, there was a lot of, like, she couldn't moderate her cadence when she was delivering any of these jokes. It was either very rushed or Paz was so pregnant you could have still got an abortion in Virginia with him. That's a bad joke, but not nearly as bad as Carmen Esposito. Carmen. I keep forgetting. What's her fucking name again?
Cameron.
Stupid Mexican.
Yeah. See, I can make bad jokes, but not nearly at the clip that Cameron did. because she loaded a whole hour's worth. I've given you one so far, and we've been going what, almost an hour.
50 minutes.
And she steamrolls the shit out of what potentially could be funny, so she can make a point. And half the time, the point is she's preaching moralism and ideology, or she needs to get her creepy pedo boner going. Ugh.
I'm just gonna, as a final point, I'm just gonna share the fact that this bitch doesn't know how technology works.
Oh God, yeah, not the album on her phone.
Hey, I'm not gonna fault the whole, well, with the start of this joke anyway, where she was talking about her soon to be wife being, how did she describe it? Almost like a wizard or something like that. I don't remember the exact way she put it, but she could put music on her phone, y'all. And the only music that Cameron had on her phone was her first comedy album. And does anybody else want to pick up this story? Where
Well, I think the important part is all of us were watching, and all of us at the same time are like, "Oh, fuck you! Come on!" Everybody who was sitting there watching it, it's like, you are so full of shit at this point. You're pushing a premise to try to make a joke that's not going to end up funny. And it didn't.
Yeah, supposedly the joke that she told, the story was that she got into it was like an Uber driver's car, taxi. He had his Bluetooth on. She had the Bluetooth on her phone. And so the first thing that played was the first track off of her album. Ladies and gentlemen,
because
Cameron Esposito. I got into a car and it introduced me. That's the payoff to that.
Oh, no. The bullshit line where she's just like, if you have a car with Bluetooth and you have a phone with Bluetooth, it will immediately start. No, it doesn't. You have to sync that shit. You have to sync it. That shit needs to be synced via your phone or via your car. They have to discover each other and allow access unless it has already been programmed before. So don't feed me that line of bullshit that this special was in 2016, you said?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In 2016, that's how this shit was running. That's how this shit worked. You want to go ahead and try and fucking lie to people? Because, people are too stupid or ignorant to realize that, oh, that's right. My phone and my car, when the Bluetooth is on my phone, it automatically starts playing the stuff in the car. Like, yeah, that works because you synced it, you stupid fox.
I can't tell you how many times I've hopped into a buddy or my older brother's car, and automatically the thing flashes. We have detected a Bluetooth compatible device.
Yeah.
Link, yes or no. And I'm always like, tell your car to fuck off.
I hear cat.
Sorry, it's my pussy. It needs to be pet. Yeah. Come here, let me rub you.
By the way, I got a couple of Ocean Jasper carved kitties in, and my buddy's dad was here. He's like 84 years old, right? So he was in the it's a duplex, so he was in the other side of the duplex, and he'd come over and I'd feed him on occasion and go run around with him. He was here for like a month. But the day he was getting ready to go back, he was going to go back the next day down to Mississippi. I'm like, and here, if you need a story to tell, and I grabbed one of those cats, and I gave them the carved cat. If anybody asks you if you had a good time when you're up here in Ohio, just show them that and say, yeah, I got a little pussy. That's a good joke for an 84-year-old man. So fuck all you. Although he did spend the next 15 minutes of, well, I can't do that anymore. I'm like, I don't want to hear it. Problems with your dick is your own. Fucking white people.
Does anybody else want to say anything else about this special? Because I think I've said about all I can.
Yeah.
Without just going over old shit.
I just have one more thing to say, and then I'm done. I promise.
I think I know what it's going to be.
Oh yeah, we know what's going to happen here.
Fucking Mexicans.
Okay, it took a turn at the end there, but
no, they were going for the fuck you, Johnny and Camel.
That's what we were
fuck
expecting.
You both with the highest amount of praise and adoration for your ability to find such shit tier things. Congratulations, you have a talent.
We find some of this stuff without even looking sometimes. Like there's another deal on Amazon I want to get a couple of guys together to watch that it's comic book related. So that they host a comic book show. So I want to get them to watch it and see how long they last before they start tearing their hair out.
No. I used to run a comic book shop in the late 80s, so yes, do not invite me. I'm already so pissed off at what they're doing now. It's never going to be the same unless there's somebody weird and dynamic that sweeps in and decides to pull a rescue.
Well, see, it's not just comic book; it's also like a pop culture related and whatnot as well. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's in regards to The Boys. Yeah. I found something on Amazon that's like, oh my god, this is horrible.
The Boys are getting a little bit more SJW in season 2, but all of season 2 hasn't come out yet.
All I can say about it so far is I enjoy the show. It makes me want to pick up the comic to see what's different and where they deviate from the source material, so I can have a better understanding of the source material.
Okay, well, I have 2 words for you for the source material. Fucking dark. If you think what they're doing now is dark, yeah.
Well,
it's worth the read. It is.
Yeah, like I was saying, I was interested in watching Preacher when I heard that it was getting made, and then I saw I think the first season, and that made me gun shy for The Boys because Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg produced both of them.
I don't know. I think Preacher stayed on the tracks. It was shaky, but it was a decent representation of what they could get away with.
Maybe it was just because it was AMC versus Amazon where they can get away with more. But I didn't I wanted to actually read the comic instead of watching that show. With this show, I can sit down and watch it all right and enjoy it.
Dude, like I'm saying, The Boys,
it does make me
dark.
More.
It's fucking dark. If you think the series is dark, the
series is funny. I don't particularly find it all that dark.
So wait. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Doc, are you saying The Boys comic matters?
Hashtag, yes.
Hashtag The Boys comic matters.
Yes. Although I did just make up a shirt for gaming. Because his favorite saying is Black Lives Splatter. After that one guy got hit by the truck. So that won't be available in the store because they will probably shut my fucking store down for that. But I'm tempted.
A lot of people are getting run over lately. You have to refresh my memory as to which one you're talking about.
This was like 2 or 3 weeks back in Minnesota. They were trying to block some guy going home. And he just went, okay, and he just rolled through him at about 5 miles an hour. And we're just clipping him left and right. If you are in front of a vehicle that's going 5 miles an hour, even me, you can get the fuck out of the way. If you want to die for this cause, nah.
Well, they've been pulling that shit for years. If you go back to like the University of Missouri protests, they claimed that was the president of the university or whatever, his car ran over a protester. It's like, no, it barely bumped into him and wasn't even going 2 miles an hour. And it stopped as soon as it made contact with his shins.
It barely idled.
Well, that's the blessing and the curse now of our technology. That everything that happens will usually get filmed. And that was one of the earlier cases of like, yeah, fuck you. Here's what happened.
So,
well, all right.
I think this is probably a good time to call it. We made it right at about an hour. We managed to stretch talking about this piece of shit for 50 of it at least.
Oh my god! And it's almost like her special where she stretched pretending to be funny for at least an hour.
Oh wait, hey, Addie's in the chat. Addie, go watch Cameron Esposito. I want to know what you think.
Addie, don't do it. Don't do it. Do not do it. It's a lesbian, an unfunny Mexican lesbian. At least gaming and yelling is a funny Mexican. But this bitch is not at all. Don't do it, Addie. Run.
But she didn't have any Mexican jokes.
No, of course not, because she doesn't want to focus on that fact because she acts like she's so fucking white. No. She focused mostly on her lesbian jokes and the fact that she was, talking way too much about how all these high school girls were growing and developing on her swim team. She got to just be surrounded by them. And she's just like, we get it. You're lesbian. Shut up.
You know what? Just to make sure that I'll give her the best advertisement possible, I will send Addie a picture of Cameron Esposito.
I got the picture up. I can transfer back.
Oh, okay. Okay. There you go, Addie.
Feast your eyes, Addie.
Don't fear it.
Let's see which one it's on. I think it was...
But yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about an hour that you'll never, ever get back, there you go. And you wouldn't really want it back, really, afterwards. You would just, like, kind of bury it, like if you were caught in the middle of a bad touch. Something you just want to forget.
Just have booze. Just booze
yes.
and
Booze.
drugs. Mix the two together.
Did you want the man to die?
You listen. Dying would be preferable to watching this fucking piece of shit ever again.
I mean, I don't know what Addie's tolerances are.
Addie,
I'm not.
Addie would be good. I'm pretty sure he knows how to handle his shit. On the alcohol end, minimum. And he's smart enough not to mix anything too bad with his alcohol.
Unless it's a gas station boy. Because he's a bad boy.
God damn.
But yeah.
Addie saying I can still see the carpet on her tongue.
I don't know about that, man. Johnny, pull up a picture of her husband. Wife, whatever. It was a wife, they said, yeah?
what was her name?
Aria Butcher, I think was what it was.
I put it in our chat. If you can pull the picture from there.
It'll screw.
Did you drop a link to it, Doc? Because it might not have gone through. You don't have a wrench on this channel for some reason. Yeah, I'm not seeing a link to anything.
Okay, well, if you want a wrench me, I can drop it in there real quick.
I will. Wrench it is.
Let's see if they'll let me.
I imagine if you just Google pictures of Cameron Esposito, they'll show up some with her now ex-wife. That's the funniest part of the special, is if you look back, realize that you have the benefit of hindsight, guys. The special is titled Marriage Material. It was filmed 2 days before this person's marriage. They are now divorced.
2 years.
It's only been 4 years. So, was that...
Oh, yeah, well, that's a good thing.
They said wife, so this is a woman. Maybe trying to be a man, but... That's still
like I said,
a woman, yeah?
She looks like a failed J.J. Abrams clone. Kirk Cameron. I thought that too, Addie.
Well, I do need to get a nap in before I have to go to work tonight, so we will have to call it.
Everybody shut the fuck up and say goodbye.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything to show before we go?
Sir Adamantine's drinking with friends, sometimes Saturday nights. It's interesting.
All right.
Kadant, what about you? You have anything that you want to let folks know about upcoming?
No.
No?
I don't
Okay.
fucking know. Like I don't fucking subscribe. Hold on. There's one thing. I could do one thing.
Okay.
Sorry, my hands are sweaty. Subscribe to Johnny Hellcat. He'll fuck over your brain and make you hate him.
She's not entirely wrong.
Fuck you, Johnny.
And then Terry, as always, you can find him over on Means of this every night at 11 o'clock Eastern, right?
I'm only on
11:30? Right, sorry. On Del Hayes' night, so alternating Sundays at about 11:30 Eastern. And then you're on Jack Gunsky's gaming streams on Tuesday nights, right after Lords of the Night, and Frosted's streams, the corner streams with Frosted Glass, Thursdays. Yeah? Did I miss anything?
That's it. That's everything.
And about the only time you're going to see me is on Johnny's channel, so play us off, Johnny.
Dun, 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 dun. I got nothing. All right.
Bye, chat.
You guys have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Chicky fat.